All right, and we got him in here now. So welcome for those who may be watching from Great Lakes Storm Chasing Network and Indiana's Storm Network as well. We got severe thunderstorm warning for LaPorte County in Indiana and portions of St. Joseph County in Indiana. There's a St. Joseph County, Indiana, and a St. Joseph County, Michigan, really close to each other. But it's the St. Joseph County, Indiana that Ryan is pointing on there for South Bend, basically. And then again, Berrien County in southern Michigan as well. So figured we'd pull in GLSCN and ISN because this is going to be impacting very heavily populated areas soon if this stays together in South Bend and LaPorte.
Also up here further to the north, Bridgman over to Niles and Buchanan needs to be on alert for gusty winds as well. The heaviest are down by the border in New Buffalo. It's basically on the border here near Grand Beach, Michiana Shores, moving toward Rolling Prairie, New Carlisle, and LaPorte, Indiana, and eventually continuing toward Kankakee and perhaps South Bend, Mishawaka areas. I'm kind of shocked to not pull into level 3 yet. I'm getting 101 miles per hour now at 4,600 feet.
Hey, Ryan.
Yes.
We have a comment here from Facebook saying YouTube is on members only chat right now.
Yep. Sorry, guys.
we had a lot of
spammers beforehand. I didn't want that happening, so we limited it to members. You guys can chat now. Apologies.
You guys are free.
Just kind of forgot to do that, so my apologies.
This is riding right down US 20, again towards LaPorte, New Carlisle, as well as in Michigan, going right down US 12, Three Oaks, Galion, and eventually Bertrand and Buchanan.
Got 102 now over Springfield, Indiana. 95 still just south of New Buffalo.
Outage map still going crazy over there?
Hasn't updated yet.
Okay. The storm is just going to impact mainly portions of LaPorte, St. Joseph, maybe even northern Stark and northern Marshall County there. So that 4-county quadrant up there in northern Indiana. So for those who are watching from a regional network, that's currently the short-term forecast for this line of considerable, I would even say destructive, damaging winds at this point.
And here's your animation of this storm diving to the southeast. So South Bend, Elkhart, Kankakee, LaPorte, you guys need to be on alert for the storm as it moves your direction. This is a considerable severe warning for Berrien, as well as northern St. Joseph and northern LaPorte counties in Indiana. Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
90 plus miles per hour still showing up there. Outage map is not updating. It will update any minute. New Buffalo likely still getting some gusty winds here, as well as Michiana Shores, Michigan City, southwestern Berrien County here in Michigan. New scan coming in. Still continues a pretty heavy swath of damaging winds here. Heading into LaPorte as we speak. Still moving through New Buffalo. And this warning is in effect for another 45 minutes. It'll expire at 10 p.m. Eastern. We are now destructive ops. I'm not sure if they went ahead and did the entirety of the warning or, okay, it's destructive.
It's the entirety?
Yep. From what I gather, it is. They continue the entire warning. Now we're destructive ops. So this means that they upgrade the warning to 80 miles per hour. Destructive warnings are level 3 out of 3, so the highest tier that we can get on a severe warning. The text says this is a destructive storm. located along a line extending from near New Buffalo to Long Beach to Beverly Shores, moving southeast at 40 miles per hour. These destructive storms are for LaPorte County. Hazard is 80 miles per hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. Says flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be heavily damaged. Roofs, vehicles, extensive tree damage, and power outages are likely. For your protection, move to the lowest floor of a sturdy building. So the warning is destructive, mostly for LaPorte County, but the entirety of the warning was upgraded. So we are now in destructive ops. And again, this is those of you watching here from Michigan. This is going to be just basically on the Indiana-Michigan border near in Berrien County, New Buffalo, tracking towards South Bend, Mishawaka areas. So there is still heavy winds occurring near New Buffalo, as well as those beaches there across Lake Michigan from Bridgman down here to Michiana Shores.
Yeah, this is the rare orange box with the pink outline that I have for my color table here. Again, this is going to be heading right for North Liberty and Walkerton, Indiana in the short term. South Bend, you guys are not in that warning box, but you guys want to be on alert. Niles, you guys are on the edge of that warning box still. Again, the box itself has not moved, as Ryan has mentioned here. So if you guys are still in that warning box, be advised 80 mile per hour winds, likely ongoing with this storm as it pushes through New Carlisle and LaPorte, Indiana, as well as portions of extreme southern Michigan at this current time. Again, destructive severe thunderstorm warning. You are probably hearing your wireless emergency alerts going off on your phone. Again, those are issued for those destructive severe thunderstorm warnings as well as tornado warnings.
And again, this should be one of the only storms to impact Michigan in this vicinity. After this wind works its way through, we should be clear for a while, if not for the night. So once this is out, we should be much, much quieter.
Anywhere where you see the pink boxes in the background, that is your severe thunderstorm watch, where conditions are available for severe thunderstorms to develop in the coming minutes to coming hours. Right now for Berrien County, Michigan, and LaPorte County, as well as St. Joseph County, Indiana, that is right now. So 80 mile per hour winds are nothing to be laughing about. You want to be on the lowest floor. I would say in the basement at this point. 80 mile per hour winds is basically an EF0 to an even EF1 tornado in terms of damage. So again, this is the same wording as we used back on our June 25th, June 26th, damaging straight line winds in Muskegon County and Oceana County. It's basically ongoing, except 150 miles south now. Speaking of upwards, up north in Michigan right now, there's just a little bit of light to moderate rain moving onshore Muskegon, Ottawa County. Nothing severe up there, so we should be smooth sailing tonight for the most part. Again, most severe weather will be confined south of 94. Marginal risk is maintained for mainly areas south of US 10 throughout the remainder of the night. So we could see a rogue severe storm, but it's more unlikely than it is likely. Again, most severe weather will be confined to this little complex down here where the destructive severe thunderstorm warning is currently in effect. Is it 80 mile per hour winds sustained? If it's anything like earlier today, then probably. And you can see, I can't measure this, Ryan, but I'm guessing this swath is at least probably 5 to 10 miles wide in terms of the damaging winds. I don't know if you want to measure that on radar scope, radar Omega.
I got you. About 20 miles wide.
20 miles wide. And how deep into the line does it go?
About 12 miles.
Yeah, so that is a wide swath of damaging winds, and it will be consistent, it seems.
Again, these winds on radar are showing up roughly around 80 miles per hour now. A couple in the mid 80s, 86. I'm getting close to 90 here, just across the border. Also in Berrien County as well, I'm getting close to 85 there near Three Oaks and Galleon. I believe it's pronounced Galleon.
Yeah, or Galen. It could be. I think it might be Galen.
Okay.
I don't remember which one it was.
But regardless, these are destructive severe winds. and they are moving rapidly into the east to the southeast here. Out ahead of this, I'm going to go ahead and put you guys on alert for St. Joseph County in Indiana, not Michigan, Indiana. So South Bend areas, North Liberty, Lakeville, New Carlisle. Also be alert if you are in Niles, Berrien County, Niles, Bertrand, Buchanan. Edwardsburg should also be on alert, south, very extreme southern portions of Cass County. As this line continues to move a little bit further south, but there is a chance it can move further east with it. And if it does move further east, we'll be looking at a threat for Cass County. It actually kind of is trying to push further east now. So Niles, especially in south, needs to be on alert. But Edwardsburg also should be on alert there in southern Cass. They went ahead and put a new warning out, looks like, for southern Cass. We just got done talking about this. Southern Cass near Niles, Edwardsburg, all the way over into Elkhart, Napanee areas. This is going to include the counties of Cass, Elkhart, St. Joseph, Marshall, and Kosciuszko County. I'm not get that one right. So this warning is now continued. That Cass County cell is going to be warned until 10 p.m. So this very extreme portions of Cass County now in a considerable warning, and the destructive warning continues for southern Berrien. Outage map. Oh yeah. Yep. They're feeling in. New Buffalo, Michiana, Springfield, Springfield, Smith. Yeah. So these outages are likely coming from the storm, so it's mixing down to the ground. So we're getting those confirmed reports, not reports, but confirmed via damage, not via power outages. What I'm trying to say here. And that wind continues to strengthen back upwards of 90 miles per hour just across the border near Rolling Prairie. And they're also still near Galen and Three Oaks. We're getting winds over 80 miles per hour in spots. See Jack with a $10 super chat says, go buy yourself some coffee. You have had a busy couple of days. Thank you for your work. Thank you, Jack, for your $10 super chat. It is much appreciated.
Thank you, Jack. Yeah, what you're seeing here on radar are two different levels of severe thunderstorm warnings for those who are just tuning in. We have the destructive, which is the orange highlighted with the pink. And then you have the considerable severe thunderstorm warning, which is the orange highlighted in the red. The destructive is for 80 mile per hour winds back here in Berrien County. And then you have the considerable winds of 70 miles per hour. They're projecting that this Boeing segment will weaken just a tad, but again, weakening from 80 to 70 is not that big of a jump. It's still going to be blowing down trees no matter what. So any one of these boxes that you're in right now, you guys want to be underground or in the lowest floor, interior room, no glass, and away from any walls that may have trees that could fall on them. So again, South Bend, this is you guys, North Liberty, Indiana, anywhere in St. Joseph County, Indiana, guys. You guys want to be underground right now. I would say Niles and Edwardsburg as well. Edwardsburg is not in the warning, and Niles is right on the edge. But it is going to be very, very close. It's going to be a very close call for Niles and Edwardsburg. So you guys just kind of want to treat it as if you are in the warning just in case. Because like Ryan mentioned, it's starting to turn a little bit more east and maybe ride right down that state line.
Chandler and Alex are in front of the storm in South Bend. So we potentially may have some visuals coming on this storm in probably about 20 minutes or so. So that is going to be something to look forward to. Well, not look forward to, but something to keep an eye on. These winds increased again with the latest scan, Joel. Up over the LaPorte area. Let's go ahead and take back Indiana's radar. There we go. So near Rolling Prairie, we're getting winds upwards of 95 miles per hour yet again. And this is becoming closer to the radar. We are only now 3,400 feet. So we're still dropping. We dropped from 4,600 to 3,400. We're still at 90 miles an hour here. So these winds are likely still reaching down to the ground. And all of these winds here, the brighter colors, brighter greens, the whites looking things, that's going to be, that's a pretty big, what we're going to call wind bag here. That's pushing through southern Berrien and also northwestern Indiana right now. Now, this area was untapped from earlier storms. Instability in this area is still, we're going to call it a powder keg. So this is what storms are taking advantage of at this point. And there also is some shear to work with down here as well. Not too much, but there is just enough here to kind of warrant some concern for a tad bit more organization. So this is not really surprising by any means. But at the same time, this should remain south of us. Like I said, it should eventually drop south. It's just going to be a matter of how far east it's going to track before it gets out of the state. We animate this and keep an eye on the heaviest wind velocity, so the brighter colors. We're going to kind of track that, animate it. We're going to see it's kind of pushing almost, just mostly east here, but it's also kind of diving south as it does so. So if it tracks more easterly, it may try to brush Southern Cass, perhaps St. Joseph, but I do think it's going to dive further south here fairly soon.
Alex and Chandler are actually over in the Elkhart area right now too, so they have a little bit of an advantage of getting out in front of it right now. They just got to get through that Elkhart traffic, and then they'll be probably out there in the clearing if they can get through it. So they're over there in Elkhart County, western Elkhart County, in the second severe thunderstorm warning that you see on your screen there to the east. As Lynn points out in chat, yes, every like goes a long ways. Again, just because you don't know anybody does not mean that you are not helping anyone by liking the stream. Again, it boosts the algorithm for fellow Michiganders, and in this case, some fellow people who live in Indiana. I'm not sure what the people in Indiana are called, Ryan.
Hoosiers.
Well, yeah, you can go with Hoosiers. So it helps out your fellow Hoosiers as well by liking the stream. So if you haven't already, feel free to do that. Whether you're watching on Facebook or here on YouTube, we are live on both platforms. I should have known. I was trying to think of like Indiana Knights or something like that. Just like how we're like the Michiganders. Some people say we're Michigandites, which is really interesting.
No. No way.
So again, current time is 9:28 p.m. Make sure your time matches up. I'm Joel Fritzmill alongside Ryan Harriott. We are Michigan Storm Chasers, also live streaming on Great Lakes Storm Chasing Network right now, as well as Indiana Storm Network. Some of our partner companies, I guess, are also our pages here that we run in our spare time. As the storm kind of trails and trickles off into northern Indiana a little bit, still riding right down the Michigan line right now. So we are also live on Michigan Storm Chasers as always. This is looking to impact portions of Niles. That gust front kind of bows up to the north a little bit, and soon to be Edwardsburg.
Bertrand, Buchanan, Granger also, in addition to Edwardsburg and Niles. I'm going to pop out of here for 30 seconds to use the bathroom.
Okay. Take my radar back here. Get an update on the velocities here again. Where you see this blue, so this is your velocity radar for those who may not really dabble in radar technology and such. This is your velocity, so your wind radar. Anywhere you see these greens, that's winds coming inbound to the radar site. And where we see these brighter blues and even darker blues, that's going to be your heavy to destructive winds, as you can see with the pink box here. That is your destructive severe thunderstorm warning, which does trigger the WEAs on your phone, similar to what you get in a tornado warning. These levels of severe thunderstorm warnings were only added about 5 years ago, and so still new technology, and we've seen a couple of destructive severe thunderstorm warnings so far this year, and this is just another one to add to the count. And then, of course, today we saw a lot of considerable severe thunderstorm warnings as well, which is our level 2 of 3. And destructive is level 3 severe thunderstorm warnings. The considerable ones, which are highlighted in red here, are the level 2. And then obviously you have normal severe thunderstorm warnings, which are going to be for your normal 60-mile-per-hour winds, 1-inch hail sort of stuff. So, so this is going to be, that's going to be your pocket of like a wind bag, as Ryan mentioned here. This entire blue circle, so it extends all the way down to Kingsford Heights in Indiana, all the way up to Galen and Buchanan here in Berrien County, southern Berrien County. It should stay south of Bridgman and Berrien Springs at this point. However, it looks like there is some precipitation heading your way, so expect perhaps some cloud ground lightning, and a lot of loud thunder out there. Again, a lot of CAPE out there tonight. The storm's going to be very electrified. And on top of that, we do have training storms over the same area. So we do have to watch out for a potential flooding threat. We already see a flood advisory in effect for the Chicagoland area. And these storms are continuing east. So we could see more of those flood advisories be issued here in the Gary, Michigan City, New Buffalo area over the next coming hours tonight. But yeah, you can see also on radar here, I switched back to our base reflectivity, which is your rain radar. The brighter reds and pinks is your heavier rain. Where you see this little line that's it kind of looks like a little X-ray line here out in front of the storm, that is your outflow boundary, and that is where some of the heavier winds are located. I'm going to switch over to base velocity just to make sure. However, it looks like up in the storm itself, this whole storm itself is the wind. Compared to what we saw earlier today in Michigan, where this gust front was the damaging winds, it seems like the damaging wind is actually within the storm on this one, and it's rooted in some good shear. So we might have to watch out for the threat for a brief spin up or two here, especially as it cruises into South Bend. South Bend, you guys have about 5 minutes left to prepare. Roseland, Bertrand as well in Michigan. All about 5 to 7 minutes here. Again, alpha boundary rolling in right now. You can see that little thin green line across your screen. I'll switch back to velocity. And there it is. There is your pocket of wind. New Carlisle, it's over you guys right now. In Leidick, in Crumstown, as well as Hamlet and North Liberty here in Indiana, it is over you guys right now. Your time is now to prepare. Galen, it's also over you guys, as well as Three Oaks. So, again, right down that US 12 corridor in Berrien County, Michigan. And then pretty much all across St. Joseph County in Indiana. So St. Joseph County, Michigan, on the other hand, not impacted by the severe thunderstorm warning, except for this tiny little corner here. I'm not even sure if you consider that part of St. Joseph County, but it is technically over the line. So if you live in that little tiny quadrant of St. Joseph County, Michigan, be advised the storm is kind of tracking your way. So I guess Ryan's taking his camera back here. Or not. Readings on these damaging winds, just a little bit of an update here. Still 82, 83. Moving my mouse around here to see if I can pick up on anything here. Looks like at 82 is the high. 82 and 83 are the highest wind values I'm seeing right now. So it's still still verifying the destructive winds. However, this is at 2,900 feet off the ground, so not all of it could be mixing to the ground. But as Ryan was pointing out on the power outage map, there is a significant amount of wind that is indeed mixing down. So nonetheless, it is severe criteria, and you want to take this seriously. So again, interior room or basement, you want to make sure that the structure you're in is secured to the ground, so anchored. So if you're in a trailer that's not anchored to the ground, a car is not anchored to the ground. We understand that if it's the only thing you have, it's better than nothing. But this is damaging winds, and it will blow these structures around. So if possible, you guys do want to relocate to substantial structure if you have adequate time. These storms are moving somewhat quickly to the southeast. It says 55 miles per hour, so that is normal driving speed out there. So this is your advanced heads up, actually, from Marshall and Elkhart and what was the county down here? Kosciuszko County, I believe. I know we both had different pronunciations, but those three counties are just rattled off for Indiana. Now's your time to prepare. If you're not in substantial structure, you want to find substantial structure now before you're caught in the storm.
These heavier winds are centered between South Bend and Kankakee. There is just a bit of wind still in Berrien County. Moving into the Buchanan area near Niles. And again, Chandler and Alex are going to be joining us here. They're getting into position.
Kosciuszko. Interesting. Okay. I'll try to remember that.
Storm is packing quite the punch.
If you're watching from Indiana, you can post them on our Great Lakes Storm Chasing Network Facebook account. If you're watching from Michigan, for damage reports, I will say, if you're watching from Michigan, we do have a Michigan Weather Network account. That is a public group on Facebook that you guys can go ahead and submit your damage reports to. Make sure to be as specific as possible when you're submitting those damage reports. Ryan, unless you also have a group for the Indiana people to share to.
I do not.
Okay. So just share them with you.
There is actually a Great Lakes community. It's just called Great Lakes Storm Community. But that's not really active. But it can be active if you guys want to use it.
Yeah. Primary focus right now, though, it is dark. You will not see this storm coming. So you guys want to, well, I mean, with the lightning, you will probably see it in some aspect, but you do not have any more daylight out there. So you guys want to be making sure to just take shelter before the winds do hit you. And this storm is very deep in terms of how far back it goes. So you could have gusty winds for about 10 to 15 minutes there across portions of extreme southern Michigan and northern Indiana. Do you see that, Ryan, the turbulence on this storm?
Mm-hmm.
It's similar to what we saw earlier today on radar, where you have some sort of inflow on the backside there, just pushing it forward.
RIJ.
Yeah. It's almost like the whole entire storm is a rotating meso. There is no actual ground rotation, but this entire storm itself is churning in the atmosphere. And then a very neat feature on radar. Oh, and what I was getting at is damage pictures are not your top priority. Staying safe is. So keep that in mind. Wait until you're for sure that the storms are done with before you go out and take damage photos. And destructive severe thunderstorm warning continues. I don't think they've downgraded it. 4 portions in this pink box back here. The orange box with the red outline is your considerable severe thunderstorm warning for 70-mile-per-hour winds. It has not been upgraded. But 70-mile-per-hour winds is probably a good bet at this time. Again, that radar signature of the 80-mile-per-hour winds is about 3,000 feet off the ground. So that is over a half a mile up in the air. So some of that may not be mixed into the ground, but we do know that at least some of it is because of the power outage map showing a lot of outages coming in from the New Buffalo area earlier.
Looks like most of the winds are actually kind of across the border now. Just a few, perhaps square miles left of Michigan where the heaviest winds are still showing up. And that's still mostly in Berrien County. Southern Berrien County by the border, to be exact. Taking a peek back. Sorry.
Cody and Corey are going after it too. I just want to point that out real quick.
Where are they at?
They are over in Middlebury.
Ah, okay.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, taking a zoomed out look here, not really seeing too much else for Michigan besides what's actually happening in Berrien County right now. There is some cells developing back towards Chicago, but those are also tracking southeast, so those should miss Michigan. Got to turn on Spotter Network here so I know where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
If by chance you have clear skies tonight, which I don't think is going to be the case across Michigan, we could see some aurora tonight. However, the cloud cover forecast looks pretty bad. little off topic. I just saw the notification come through my phone for that. Still getting 75 or so miles per hour between Kankakee and South Bend, Indiana. Up here in Berrien County, we're still seeing roughly 50 to 60 miles per hour in some spots. There's the update. So just south of Buchanan, south of Niles there. Getting some comments and messages rolling in. Gonna take this real quick. So places included within the warning still are going to be Buchanan, Galen, Fairland, Glendora, Buchanan, Bakertown, Bertrand, and Granger. A lot of lightning with the storm. The heaviest winds currently look to be in Indiana, but the storm itself is all the way up to Bridgman in Berrien County, working its way eastward into Cass County, looks like, in the next couple of minutes. We'll see if they decide to warn more of Cass County, but given the winds are kind of displaced off to the south, I wouldn't expect that to be the case.
Right.
Thank you for the donation from Mardell.
This is quickly heading towards Elkhart County, where Alex and Chandler are at. Both staff members here at Michigan Storm Chasers. They'll have a view on it here soon. Still getting into position, though, at this time. And we also have our Chaser Partner Network members, Cody and Corey, just south of the state line as well. They are also entering, or in, I guess you could say, the eastern half of Elkhart County right now in Indiana. So, again, this looks like it's going to be riding right down the state line at the current time. I am full screen. Wow. Did not expect that. We're going to actually take a look at the tops of these storms. So there is your cloud tops. Where you see the red is topping over 50,000 feet. That is a very tall storm, and it is tapping into the top of the triple pause. So you're almost up into the stratosphere, actually, for these thunderstorms. So that is tapping into all that cape that we have out there, which is our juice for these storms. And it is just going to be an electric night here for portions of northern Indiana and southern Michigan along the border. Anywhere where you see these pinks is your severe thunderstorm watches. You have the orange with the pink outline is your destructive severe thunderstorm warning for 80-mile-per-hour winds. And then you have your considerable severe thunderstorm warning, which is the orange box with the red outline on it. Switching back to our velocity radar again, there's your damaging wind swath. Anywhere where you see the light greens to the light blues and even the darker blues, that's your huge swath of damaging winds ongoing right now across portions of northern Indiana and extreme southern Berrien County. That's very surface rooted for sure. Not really any rotation though. So far today, no reports of any tornadoes. There could have been one gust-nado that I think we saw on social media earlier across Michigan. But again, no tornadoes. We had that one tornado warning in Bay City earlier today. Bay County, Bay City, yeah. And it was also in effect for Midland as well. But that was very short-lived. It was radar indicated rotation and not likely on the ground.
Not sure how I got out of here, but I was talking and I guess no one could hear me.
Nope. I was wondering why I was full screen.
The Berrien County warning is still destructive. It expires in 15 minutes, so 10 o'clock. And the one in Cass County also expires in 15 minutes. That is a considerable warning.
Okay.
Not much in the way of wind velocity still showing up in Michigan, so that's good news. Maybe they'll cancel these warnings early. We'll see what they do. It's just a few areas. What?
Picking up on a little bit of a hail core now, actually, just south of Buchanan, Michigan. I noticed that when I was switching between the radar sites here, right where you see these brighter oranges and yellows, this is our correlation coefficient radar, which picks up on non-meteorological ununiform objects that might be circulating around the atmosphere. So hail, of course, is very rigid, and that's exactly what we're seeing here in our CC. That's actually the best example right there. All this red and pink means you're getting very uniform drops. So again, raindrops are circular, and that's what we're getting here all across this entire area, except for a little exception right along I-80 here, where you see this little pocket of greens and yellows right over the interstate and even portions of the state line. So it's likely that you could see perhaps some half-inch to 1-inch hail there, as well as the damaging winds. Your VIL does tend to pick up on a little bit of a core there as well, just to kind of overlap everything. And this is going to be tracking into north side of South Bend, south of Niles, and heading right towards Bertrand, it seems like. This is about to turn into one giant Boeing segment, Ryan. I can tell you that right now.
Indiana's going to be in trouble.
Yeah, all these cells back here are going to congeal into one big line. I can tell you that. Forming right behind that outflow boundary. But it appears like it might be diving south. That's the smallest severe thunderstorm warning I've ever seen. I'm marveling at that. Right there in Gary, Indiana.
We are now out of destructive ops back into considerable.
Perfect.
Do we have updates from Chandler or Alex yet?
Nope.
I'm going to try and pull them on Spotter Network here. I mean, I can't tell where they're at.
Oh, they're already south. I see them. Last update, yeah. Rockarusa.
Oh, they're just north of Napanee. Okay.
Yeah. Chandler's dot doesn't show up on my Spotter Network for whatever reason. So the only severe thunderstorm watches in effect for Michigan right now are for Berrien, Cass, and St. Joseph County. All the rest of the 83 counties right now in Michigan do not have any severe thunderstorm watches in effect. This is just confined to the border. This will continue this way for the remainder of tonight. We could still see showers and thunderstorms develop in West Michigan, Central Michigan, capital cities area, and points north, but we do not expect them to be severe. There might be one rogue severe storm that does happen to latch on to whatever remaining cape is out there. The atmosphere is very exhaustive of its cape after what happened today in most of Michigan. But if there's still remaining cape left over from the storms that move through, then it could latch onto that and produce a brief damaging wind gust. But again, we are not expecting that really at all tonight, north of 94 especially. We'll be alive here as long as these storms are impacting Michigan. Severe thunderstorm warning still in effect here for extreme southeastern Berrien County as well as extreme southern Cass and the far southwestern corner of St. Joseph County in Michigan. Yeah, 70-mile-per-hour winds is no joke. You do want to be taking this seriously. It is in South Bend right now. La Paz, Lakeville, Bremen, Wakarusa, all in the path of the storm, as well as Elkhart. So keep that in mind as these storms move your way.
Looks like Detroit just put out a summary of the damage today. 41 reports between gusts and damage.
That's a lot. And just in their county warning area, too.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if it classifies as the D word.
Wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
Yeah. Across the entire state, so consistently 50, 60-mile-per-hour winds or greater.
I believe we had that, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Some of our blues are starting to go away, but there's still a pocket here in North Liberty that is exhibiting 65 to 72 mile per hour, at least here at 2,300 feet off the ground. So still strong to severe thunderstorm ongoing here in St. Joseph County, Indiana. It looks like it's now almost completely south of the border.
I also want to point out the Cass County got downgraded from considerable back down to just regular severe.
Gotcha. But we're still in considerable ups. Hilarious. Someone brought up heat lightning. You guys know that's not a thing.
Don't make me post another post about that. People went nuts over that last year.
Yep. Even this year. Niles, you guys are right on the border of the severe thunderstorm right now, so keep a watchful eye, as I like to say. But unless you live in southern Cass, southern St. Joseph County, Michigan, you really don't have much to be worried about tonight. Don't expect, as I keep mentioning here, nothing really too severe, widespread, like we saw earlier today, for the remainder of the state overnight tonight. Tomorrow, severe risk will be state line south as well, that's where the boundary is now setting up. And we'll have a good break for the remainder of the day on Wednesday for the rest of the state and on Thursday as well. So it'll be a good break that we get here following tonight's severe weather.
If you happen to have clear skies, go look north. You may see northern lights right now.
Northern lights, severe weather.
Looking at the current satellite, there actually is a pretty good gap of what looks to be clear skies across central Michigan. I'm going to pop outside again to see if I can see anything. Before I do that, though, I got to send the alerts out to our patrons.
Tell me again so my husband can hear heat lightning. Yeah, heat lightning is not a thing. It's just very distant lightning in the distance that you're seeing. So you could be looking south from Grand Rapids right now and you're seeing the sky light up. That's actually this thunderstorm down here at the border. Science tells you that light travels further in dark places, and that is no exception for severe thunderstorms or just thunderstorms in general with the lightning. I'm back in school, so I'm not gonna be able to do this all the time now, but whenever I do have free time, I will be here. Again, just as a reminder, this is all volunteer, what we do here at Michigan Storm Chasers. So monetary donations are obviously appreciated, but not expected. But if you do want to donate, again, there's plenty of options to do that in the link tree that our mods post every once in a while here on Facebook, or here on YouTube, I should say. We'll say that if you aren't watching on YouTube, we do have a good mod team over here and a good lively chat room, and it's always a good time. So. Again, Ryan has only had 5 hours of sleep in the last 2 days, so he's dragging more than I am.
Absolutely am. I have stars.
Huh?
I have stars.
Oh, like clear skies.
Yeah, I'm about to take a picture here and see what I can see.
Gotcha.
Nada. But there is clear skies, so there's a chance tonight.
Got it.
Speaking of chance, I'm my GoPro. Because why not?
We still don't have any of them in here right now.
I have to assume they're going to probably let these warnings expire for Michigan, so we're not going to be on it too much longer.
Right. Still a nice pocket of damaging winds there, just south of Villavore Park and Lakeville. There is also some scattered spots of 50 to 60 here in downtown South Bend itself. So it looks like it's starting to gust out in all directions and lose a little bit more of its oomph now that it has moved away from Lake Michigan. But again, we still have training showers and storms here across the Chicagoland area, Gary, Indiana regions here throughout the night. Could lead to some flooding issues here across central Illinois, central Illinois, northern Indiana, and perhaps extreme southern Michigan, although it looks like this line is going to dive a little more south and cause more problems for our friends to the south. And speaking of our YouTube crew, one of our longtime donators, Kevin here, back with 5 gifted memberships here on YouTube. Thank you very much, Kevin, for your generous support. Again, if you are not subscribed on YouTube, it is free to do. You just have to make an account and sign up and make sure to allow gifted memberships on. That way you can get a gifted membership when one of our generous donators do donate. So again, thank you, Kevin, and congratulations to those who may have just been gifted 30 days of a paid membership here at MSC. And again, if you want your own membership, again, totally optional, but the lowest tier here on YouTube is $2.99.
You still got me here?
Yep, I got you.
Cool.
There go our warnings.
Perfect.
10 o'clock.
What do you think, Joel?
Well, what do we expect to happen here? I don't see any chance these storms turn back north, at least at this point.
Yeah, no, there's really nothing else to cover at this point, so I think we're good to end it for the night, honestly.
Yeah, we do have a couple showers and storms rolling across Muskegon, Ottawa County here in West Michigan, but those are not severe. Just eating onto that very that tiny little bit amount of most unstable cape out there that was able to rebound, I guess you could say, after the afternoon storms. But again, as those storms move to the east, there's going to be less and less CAPE available because those storms, again, it happened a lot sooner this afternoon, or a lot later this afternoon on the east side of the state, and so that kind of makes sense why there's less CAPE available there, especially with the sun going down, and you only get so much rebound time. So if that makes any sense, then yeah. But I think we are pretty much clear here. Again, if you're watching from Great Lakes Storm Chasing Network, you guys here who may live across the Illinois, Indiana region, you guys might be in for a long night tonight. Currently, severe thunderstorm watches only go down to about central Indiana, central Illinois. There could be more later tonight, depending on how far this segment does bow south. So keep a watchful eye from your local National Weather Services down there. National Weather Service Indianapolis, National Weather Service Lincoln, Illinois, for example, as well as National Weather Service Northern Indiana. We'll all got you covered throughout the night tonight if severe warnings are indeed issued along this line. Otherwise, here in Michigan, we should be clear for the remainder of the night. Again, marginal risk still in effect for US 10 and south, so that's pretty much the lower 2/3 of Michigan for a very low chance of a rogue severe thunderstorm. That would only be in the hazard being damaging winds and nothing else, unless hail is also in that, Ryan. I did not double check the hail.
I didn't, honestly.
But I do know that it is for at least wind. So if anything is going to pop up overnight, it will be for the wind. Elsewhere in the state, it should be off and on showers. So that does include the UP throughout the overnight period tonight. And then it will clear out into tomorrow and as well on Thursday. Now, Friday, we will have to look again for perhaps some unsettled weather again with a little bit of a shortwave again rolling through our area, but we will cover that in the days to come.
Mike Shooter becoming a member. Thank you, Mike. Welcome to the team. Glad to have you here.
Appreciate your support, Mike. Welcome aboard.
All right, I think we're done here, Joel.
Yep. Quick shout out again. We did not shout them out in this stream, but our one sponsor, Cats Roofing and Siding. Just as a reminder, that is our premium sponsor here at MSC. If you live in the Lansing, Potterville area, that is the go-to place for anything roofing, siding, and even windows if you are dealing with some storm damage there. So again, give them a shout out or give them a call if you need help there and tell them Michigan Storm Chaser sent you. With that being said, I think we're going to head off for the night. You guys have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful evening. If you guys are picking up the pieces tomorrow, watch your step out there. Again, things can happen. Freak things can happen after the storms already happened. There could be crazy things out there. So be careful when you're picking up the pieces. We do hope you guys are recovering well out there. And we got you covered in the future events to come here at Michigan Storm Chasers for any severe weather that does impact any of the 83 counties in the state. Ryan, you got any last words as well?
Good night.
Ryan, I'm out of here. I got to go to bed.
I'm out of here. Yep. No, thank you guys for watching and supporting us. We could not do this without you. You guys keep us going. So thank you guys. We'll be back here whenever we need to be. Hopefully not for a long time, but we'll be back watching Friday just in case. All right. We'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.
All right, everyone. Have a great